All right, can you hear me clearly now? Is it clear now, or is it still louder now? Hello,
Hello, Hester. Yes, we can hear you now.
hello.
Hello, we can hear you. Can you hear us? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you are just
Yes, but it's low. It's low. The volume is
Is
low.
it loud
Yeah.
now? Is it loud now? Is it loud
Yes,
now?
it's fair enough now. It's fair enough now. Please go ahead. Hello, can you hear me? Did you get that, Esther? Yes.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. So, everything on data. Welcome to an amazing session, and we are delighted and excited to have. And everything on data is a platform for learning data. And everything on data has been an
Sorry, you can unmute yourself. Can hear you. Hello, if you are speaking, you are muted, please.
I don't know if you can hear me loud and clear now. Saying, Paula, please, can you hear me clearly now?
Yes, we can hear you now, Esther.
Okay. So as I was saying, sorry for the break. Everything on data is a platform for learning data analysis and platform. Yeah, analysis track and business analysis track. So that's actually we have on our platform and our portal. So everything on data is actually a platform where everyone can come to learn data analysis and everything on data platform. We have our platform and everything on data. So actually people find us on all social media platforms and comment your data analysis. Thank you very much for talking.
All right, thank you, Esther, for that brief introduction about what we do at Everything on Data. Please, Bukola, confirm that you can hear me clearly, please. Please
Yes, I can hear
confirm
you.
that.
Yes, I
Okay,
can.
thank you. So thank you everyone for joining, and I know we still expect more people to join this particular session today, and I can tell you that it promises to be more engaging, educative, informative, and whatever field you think you can benefit. Please just come with an open mind. Uh, Facilitator we have invited is someone who is versed in this field by practical and also by theory. And I believe that in the course of these 2 weeks, so we are meeting today and we'll definitely continue this session by next week, Saturday. So please, just let's make productive time and use of this session we'll be having. And the person we'll be having today is a friend and a brother. We met as a function of networking. So that is why it's good to network, make use of your LinkedIn, reach out to fellow minds in the field of data science, data analytics, and whatever interest you might have. So his name is Oluwatomisin Olatoye. So I bear Oluwatosin. So maybe the names actually made us actually add interest in each other. He's a Microsoft certified Power BI data analyst, and he's an app maker, Power App maker with demonstrated proficiency in leveraging Microsoft technologies for data analysis, reporting, development, dashboard automation, business process automation. Is a well-detailed oriented, organized, and strategic business intelligence analyst with expertise in Microsoft Excel, SQL, Power BI, Tableau, and the Microsoft Power Platform tools, helping organizations leverage data analytics to make informed decision, data-driven decision, which we know that's one of the essence why we do our data analysis. He is proficient in defining business problems, writing queries to extract relevant data, data modeling, data visualization, crafting data stories to communicate insight effectively to stakeholders, executive management, and senior business owners. His demonstrated leadership abilities cut across learning and development, project management, and social enterprise. He is a 2018 yearly RLC Fellow in Public Policy Management, a Fellow of the McKinsey Forward Program, and a John C. Maxwell Trained Facilitator in Leadership and Personal Growth. He is passionate about knowledge sharing and empowerment. And I think that's why he's with us here today to share knowledge with us in this field that we're looking at as our subject matter. He's currently a senior academic tutor and a data analyst at the Center for Distance Learning, Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, and leads Views Data Project at Data Elites Global Limited. So he's no other person than one of us on this call, as I've mentioned. So we'll be bringing him on. Please let's give him the accolade. Please use your emoji, and if you want to clap, you want to show love, thumbs up, please let's do that. And let's have him join us and take us through this session. Thank you, my brother. We are glad to have you on board. You can take over from there. Yeah.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much, Tosin, for this privilege, and to everyone on Everything on Data. That name is very interesting. Everything on data, even my eating on data, my clothing on data. That's interesting. And so I find it a great privilege to be here this evening, and thank you for the invitation. All right, so we have a very interesting topic to talk about this evening, and then I'll be sharing my screen right away so we can get into the discussion. Please confirm that you can see my screen.
Yes, please. It's up.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Thank you.
Yes.
So tonight we are here for Power Apps training on the platform of Everything on Data. And we're going to be having a very interesting session tonight. I know this is supposed to be a technical session, but by the virtue of my training and my experience, I usually like to start conversations like this from the basis of understanding some concepts. So we are not just building the castle on the roof or on the air. We have a foundational understanding of what we are doing. And so that is what is going to inform how I proceed with the conversation this evening. So the topic we are looking at is creating a custom app from Excel and SharePoint list. You're going to be creating a Power App using the Power Apps platform, and then we are going to be working from the Excel table and a SharePoint list. Yeah, a quick one about Thomas. Yes, you've had the bio read. I'm Microsoft certified data analyst, a business intelligence analyst, and I'm a certified low-code app developer. I've had majority of my career work in the learning and development, that's teaching and then helping people develop skills and acquire knowledge. And then I'm a community leader. So the objective of today's session, okay, so we are going to be taking the session today and then next week. So what we intend to achieve in the course of this conversation is, number one, understand how the Power Apps can be deployed to make business more efficient. Understand how we can deploy Power Apps to make business more efficient. Then understand the different types of Power Apps, different types of apps that is present in Power Apps, and then how to decide which one to use for which business use case. And then we explore the Power App Studio. And then when we are done with that, we'll go on to now do the real work, which is the building of a custom app from an Excel table and a SharePoint list. So I want somebody to read this to us and then tell me what you can understand from this. I want somebody to unmute and then read this statement of this word and then tell me what you understand. Hello? Can you hear me, please? I need someone to read this.
Let
If
me
you are
go.
a power user, okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. If you are a power user, you get the opportunity to be on the platform where your apps can automatically display BI insights hosted on pages for stakeholders to make informed, data-driven decisions for their businesses.
All right, so what do you think I'm trying to communicate from this phrase, from this statement? All right, not to waste too much time. All I've just done with this statement, with this sentence, is to bring together all the Microsoft Power Platform tools and then use it to speak to how they can be used as a tool for business solution. So it says, if a power user, you get the opportunity to be on the platform. That's the Microsoft Power Platform. Now, on the Microsoft Power Platform, you have the Power Apps, you have the Power Automate, and then you have the Power BI, which is used to build data insight. And then you also have the Power Pages, which can be used to build websites for stakeholders, clients, so business persons to see and then understand what is happening in the business. So that's just a joke to start the session. So the Power Platform, very quickly. So the Power Platform is an intuitive and a collaborative platform from Microsoft. So like I said, it's one platform that has a number of tools that can be deployed to turn business ideas into business solutions. And the beautiful thing about it is that it's a low-code tools. Everything on the Power Platform is a low-code tool which you can use to automate processes, build apps, and other useful solutions for various business use cases. So what it means is that as a Power Platform user, you really don't have to know so much about codes. You just need to know the basic knowledge of how to use the system, and then the little knowledge of Excel, little knowledge of logic, and then you are good to go to build business solutions. And all of these tools on the Power Platform are connected, and they can be used and deployed together. So like I said, the local platform span the Microsoft 365, Azure, Dynamics 365, and they also have standalone apps. So it includes the Power BI, which is used for business analytics. You have the Power Apps, which is used for app development. We have the Power Automate, which is used for process automation, everyday work, things that are routine. You can automate them. Then you have the Power Virtual Agent. Now, the Power Virtual Agent has now been incorporated into what is now known as the Microsoft Copilot Studio. So the virtual agent before now used to be used to build chatbots. If you have gone on some website and then once you log on to that website, you see something pop up and say, how can I help you? So that chatbot is built from the Power Agent. So what I'm saying is that you can use the Power Virtual Agent to build something like that. Then you have the Power Pages, which can be used to build external-facing websites that clients, customers can interact with. And then on the Power Platform, you have the data connectors. So the beautiful thing about the Power Platform is that all the tools on the Power Platform can be connected to different data sources for work, SQL, Progress, MySQL. Talk of any data source, you can actually connect them to the Power Platform. And then you have the AI builder, which can be generative AI, artificial intelligence, which can be incorporated in developing your solutions. And then you have the Dataverse, which is like a database, which is used to store data, and then it can be connected to all of these tools to generate business solutions. So what is Power Apps? So the Power Apps is a suite of apps, services, and connectors that let you create custom business apps without coding. So it's more of a drag and drop. We're going to see that in the course of this conversation. Now, it provides a rapid development environment where you can build apps according to your business needs. And the beautiful thing about it is that it gives everybody the opportunity to be an app developer. So the core people that use the Power Platforms, the low-code platforms, citizens developers. So people with little or no knowledge about coding can actually conceptualize their idea to solve a business problem. And then using the Power Platform, they can create apps that can be deployed to solve the business problem. So they don't have to wait for developers, coders, go through all the challenges of building the app before they can get an app to solve their business problem. So with Power Apps, you can build professional solutions using AI-powered development, pre-built templates, and connectors to hundreds of data sources and systems. As of now, there are about 900 pre-built connectors that you can connect to the Power Platform and the Power Apps. You can solve countless business problems with Power Apps. Talk about finance, sales, marketing, human resources, operations, and then the field workers. Now, the best thing about the Power Apps is that you don't need coding experience to use and deploy it. You don't need coding experience. And then all you need to do is connect to data systems that you're already using. So we're going to see now, just connect to data that you're already using, create apps, forms, and workflows without writing code. And then the app that you create can be used on the web, on mobile devices. That's very interesting thing about the Power Apps. So you can see here, this is a tablet on this side. You have the web page in the middle, and then you have a mobile on the right. So these are interfaces that we can deploy the Power Apps to. So why choose Power Apps? Number one, reduce IT costs. Now, if you are conversant with the process of the traditional, the normal app development process, you notice that you have to engage a number of professionals. You have the front-end developer, back-end developer, you have UI UX, you have product manager, you have all of these people coming together to design the app. And if they're going to design the app, everyone wants to put their own input, and then that will increase the cost of building the app. So, but with Power Apps, you can reduce the cost of getting a functional app that can be deployed for your business. Then faster app development. Local platforms cut 50 to 90% of development time. Within 3 minutes, let's say 3 units. Within a day, at maximum, you can actually develop a real-time functional app that can be deployed for your business. And then, like I said, it's useful integrations. You can integrate it with different data sources. It has AI capabilities. You have the Copilot. You can engage AI to contribute to development of the app and even to the development of the business solution. And then it also gives room for easy automation of tedious processes. These are some benefits of using the Power Apps. Now, what are the types of apps that we have in Power Apps? There are two main types of apps that is available on the Power Apps platform. We have the model-driven apps and we have the canvas apps. The model-driven apps, okay, let me just go on. So for the canvas apps, just like the word canvas, if you are conversant with art, if you're a painter or somebody that draws, you usually will start with a empty canvas, and then you come with your painting brush, and then you have an idea of what you want to create, the picture you want to draw, or the sculpture, whatever painting you want to make out of the canvas. So with the idea in your head and your paintbrush in your hand, you can then begin to design. So that's the idea of the Canvas app. So the Canvas app is you can work with an empty canvas, and then you can design and build a business app from a canvas without writing code in a traditional programming language such as a C# and all the other programming language that we have. And then the design the app by dragging and dropping elements onto a canvas, just as you would design a slide in PowerPoint. And for the functionality of the app, You just need to create Excel-like expressions for specifying logic and working with data. And then once your app is built and ready, you can share your app so that users can run it in a browser or on a mobile device. Now, another interesting thing about Canvas app is that you can connect it to different data sources. You can connect to several data sources. Now, let's move on. The model-driven app. Now, the model-driven apps are connected to Microsoft Dataverse. So the Microsoft Dataverse is like a custom database where data can be stored. And so based on what you have on your app, on your Dataverse, the table of Dataverse, that is what you can use to develop your app. Please, a moment, please. Just some 2-3 minutes, please. Apologies, please. I had a little emergency I needed to attend to. So are we? I hope we are still
That's
together.
fine. Yes, we are. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. So I'm talking about the model-driven app, and I said the model-driven app is built based on the data you have already in your Dataverse. So like I said, the Dataverse is like a database that is used to store data. So the thing about the model-driven app is that you don't have control over how the app comes up. The appearance, the UI, the UX of the app is based on the model of your data that is stored on the Dataverse. So that's why it's a model-driven app. But the beautiful thing about the model-driven app is that it can be used for very complex processes, progresses that have to do with the organization, that has to do with a lot of intertwined activities, and then you have different users coming to use it. Then you can use the model-driven apps. I beg your pardon for that. Now let's move on. So a distinction between Canvas app and model-driven app. So for data source, for Canvas app, it's not Dataverse driven, like I said, while the model-driven app is Dataverse driven. It is what is on your data that drives the appearance, the operation, the functionality of the app. But for the Canvas app, you have control over how the app appears and how the app functions. Then the app purpose. The Canvas app is used for task or screen-focused work, while the model-driven app is used for back office or process-focused app. Then for the Canvas app, it's custom UI. That means you can design how you want it to be, while the model-driven app is a responsive and a consistent UI, which means the way your app appears is always based on how your data is stored in your Dataverse. Then for Canvas app, you have device integration, while for model-driven app, user personalization. The Canvas app is easily embeddable. So that means you can actually put a Canvas app into a model-driven app. That's the beauty of the app platform. But for model-driven app is a data relationship navigation. It is how the data are connected in your dataverse. That is how the app is going to function. So moving on. Now, factors to consider in designing a Power Apps and then in deciding whether to use a Canvas app or a model-driven app. The first thing is understanding the user need. So why do we want to create the app? So the purpose of the app is important. So this will inform whether I'm going to use a Canvas app or a model-driven app. And then what do you want the app to do? Is it to replace or to automate an analog process? Then number two, the business requirement. What do we want the app to do in terms of the logic, the steps, the process? So the business requirement also will inform the factors to consider in designing the Power App. And then the data that users need to access. So like I said, if you are using different sources. So let's say you have a data on Excel, you have data on SharePoint, you have data on SQL now, and then you want to use the data on all of these sources to build an app, then your best bet will be a Canvas app. A model-driven app will not fit into that because the model-driven app is built based on the data that is already stored in your dataverse. Then the user experience and then the user interface. These are just a few of the factors you have to consider when building your app. You don't want to build an app that becomes more laborious for business users to use, and then they have to now go through a number of things before they can use the app. You don't want to build an app that people will still have to read manuals before they can use the app. So these are some of the factors to consider when building your app. Okay, so I've mentioned this before. Common data sources used for Power Apps. So you have Excel. That means data sources that you can connect to your Power Apps. You have Excel. You have the SharePoint. Now, Excel and SharePoint are non-premium data sources. What that means is that everyone can have access to it and then it's free to use. But the Dataverse and SQL Server are also data sources that can be used with the Power Apps. But then these ones are premium use, require premium use. It require extra licensing for you to be able to use them. So as we go on, I'm going to explain something about Excel and SharePoint. So of course, for the course of our conversation, we are considering Excel and SharePoint as our data source for building the Power App. And what we are going to be doing today is the Canvas app. We're going to be building a Canvas app. Now, Excel and SharePoint can both be used for building a Canvas app, but there's some peculiarities and some things we need to know about the two. Now, for you to use Excel, it has to be Excel Online. That is the online version of Excel, not the desktop version of Excel. So it's either you have the Excel on your OneDrive or OneDrive for Business. Yes, OneDrive for Business, Excel Online. That's the one you can use to connect to your Power Apps. And then, of course, the SharePoint. Now, the SharePoint is a cloud-based data source. It's a cloud-based data source where you can connect to your Power Apps. Now, the peculiarity about the use of Excel as data source is this. In using Excel, the app that is built from using Excel can only be accessed by one user per time. So that means if an app is built using Excel, it can only allow one person to access the app at a time. Now, what this means is this. If that Excel workbook or the Excel online where the data is stored that is used to build the app is opened by another user, you will not be able to access the data on that Excel on your Power App. I hope you understand what I just said. If you are using Excel as a data source, if that Excel sheet is opened by another user, even if it is opened by you, and you want to access the Power App that has been built from that Excel sheet, you will not be able to read or write into that Excel sheet because it is opened. So that is the limitation of using Excel as data source. Unlike what you have in SharePoint, SharePoint can be accessed by several users at the same time, and different people can read from the data and can write into the data at the same time without having to depend on whether somebody else has opened it somewhere else or not. So that's just a few points to take note of. Now let's go on to explore the Power App Studio. Now we have gone through the basic knowledge, the foundation, getting to know the functionality of the Power Apps, the types of app that can be built from the Power Apps platform. So now we are moving to exploring the Power App Studio. So to get started, for you to be able to use the Power Platform and then access the Power App, you need to sign into your organizational or your school Microsoft 365 account. So that means you must have a Microsoft 365 account for you to be able to access the Power Platform and then the Power Apps on the Power Platform. Alternatively, if you don't have a Microsoft 365 account, you can sign up for a free Microsoft developer account. So by just logging into this website, you can actually have access to a Microsoft developer account. Let me try to do that now. Yeah, so this is it. So if you don't have a Microsoft account before, you can just join the Microsoft 365 developer program, sign up, and then you have an account with a domain name like this. So mytarnet.microsoft.com. So usually it has a 3-month validity, but the good thing is once you use the platform regularly, they renew your subscription, and then you can continue to use the access for as many time as you so much desire. So then once you have created your Microsoft developer account, you have a Microsoft developer account, and you have your username and password, the next thing now is to log into the Microsoft Power Apps, which you can connect to by connecting to make.powerapps.com. So when you come, so this is the home page of your Microsoft app, Microsoft Power Platform. This is the home page. Okay, so this is where we are, and okay, I wanted to talk about this. So when you get on the PowerApp Studio, so to start with, when you get on the PowerApps platform, you have the home, you have create, you have learn, and then these are different aspects of the PowerApps platform that you can work with. But to start creating or developing your app, then you go to create. So in creating the app, you can actually start from blank. I'm starting from the scratch. And then you can connect to the Dataverse. Like I said, connect to the Dataverse directly. That is if you are building a model-driven app. And you could also use the Dataverse to build a Canvas app also. But does that for the model-driven app, the Dataverse is the one that drives the functionality of the app. Then you could connect to the SharePoint, a SharePoint list. You connect to Excel table. You connect to SQL. Interestingly, you can also design your app starting from an image. So you can start from uploading an image and then using the image to configure your app. You could also connect it from a Figma UI kit and convert it into an app. These are just a few of the places where you can start. And then you could start with templates. So there are different templates that you can deploy. But for a beginner, I advise that you start from a blank. But then what happens is when you study the templates, it gives you an idea of the interface that is possible and then how you can actually connect and build your app, the different interfaces that the app can have. So for our whole session today, we are going to be starting from a blank. So when you get on the Power App Studio, so let's say you click on blank app, then you get on here, create. So here you specify the name of the app that you want to build. So let's say, okay, no, let me, the app I want to show us the app want to build. Let's, okay, app. And then now you specify the format, whether it's tablet or phone. So we are clicking phone. Sorry, excuse me, please, a moment. I'm very sorry for the disturbance, please. Please, are we together? Can I continue?
Yes.
Please continue.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. I'm very sorry for the break in transmission. So we are now about to start building the app. So we are starting from blank. So when you get on the Power App platform, on the Power App Studio, you click on how you want to start. If you want to build your app from a data that you have already stored, you can go from Dataverse or SharePoint or SQL or whatever, and then you can move on as through the process. So first thing you have to do is specify the name of the app based on the business solution that you want to create. Then what's the format? Is it a tablet? Is it going to be used on the tablet and the large screen, that's a desktop, or is it going to be used on the phone? Now, as we move on, you are going to see how you can actually create an app that can be used on both the phone and then the tablet and then the desktop. So, but to start with, we are building an app that will be used on the phone. So we are clicking on create. So you are getting ready now. Yeah. So welcome to the Power Apps Studio. So usually this will pop up when you are starting. You can create a form, you can create a gallery, depending on what you want to do, but we are skipping this for now. So quickly, let me go back to the my Power presentation. So when you get on the Power App Studio, you're going to see this interface. Now, on the left-hand side, you have what we call the side pane, which has different functionalities, things that you can connect to, that you can work with in building your app. Then on number 2 is the command ribbon. On this part 2, you also are able to click on things that you need depending on your requirements or what you need to do on the app. So like you see, you can undo something that you've done. You can copy and paste. You could insert different things here. Now, when you get on this part, this insert, you have different controls. So we call all of these things controls, which you can deploy in building your app. So you have the popular controls, you have the input controls, which are the ones that you use to write into the data source or to get information on the app. So you have the button, the text, different input controls. You have the display control, which is used to display things on the app. And you have the layouts, which are used to design the UI of the app, how the app is going to look like, the UI interface, the interfaces of the app. Then you have the media control, which allows you to bring in image, 3D objects, camera, measuring camera, barcode reader, different things that has to do with media. PDF viewer, different things that has to do with media can also be included in your Power App. Then you have icons that you can also deploy to add beauty to your app. You have different shapes that you these charts are used to display data on the app. So you have the Power BI tile. The Power BI tile is actually used to connect to a Power BI dashboard. So you can actually connect your Power BI dashboard to your Power App, and then you can view the data that's on your Power App, and then you can view them. So the data is on your Power BI. You can view them on your Power App. And then you have the AI builder, which can be used for different. These things are still, they are premium. They are premium. You need a license to be able to use all of those ones. Then you have mixed reality, which can also include in your app. So here you have the insert. Here you can connect to data. If you want to add a new screen, you want to change the theme, that's the branding now. You want to brand the app, you come here to get that done. You want to change the background color, you want to add a background image, different things that you want to do, you can get that done on the ribbon command. Then here, this is plain white, this is the canvas. So this is where you are working with. You have an empty canvas that you are going to work with, and then you can start adding different things to this to design how you want your app to look like. And on the right side here, you have the property pane. This is where you configure the controls. So for example, if you insert a control, okay, let me, I'm not building the app yet. I'm just demonstrating this. If I put a text label, okay, now you notice that immediately the text label got on the canvas, my properties pane get highlighted. So all the things, different things I can do with this text label is here on the properties pane. I can change the fonts, I can change the font size, the weight, the alignment, the whether I want it to be visible or not. I can change the color of the field, the border color, the alignment, and different things depending on what I want to achieve with my app. So that's that. So let me quickly run. So I've explained this. So moving on now, we are getting to the point of building our app. So what app do we want to build this evening? So this is the problem statement or the use case that we want to work with, and then want to build an app to solve this problem. So I'm just going to read this and then we'll get to work. So pet care solution is a local pet boarding facility and veterinary care practice. Recently, customers have been asking for a way to submit booking requests for pet boarding without having to call the office. The goal is to create an app that allows customers to submit their booking information for the office to review. The app will enable the capture of booking requests and allow the office to decide whether to accept or decline the booking. So previously, bookings could only be requested over the phone, leading to the pet care solution phone line always being busy. This made it difficult for many customers to request services, causing frustration and potential loss of business for pet care solution. So our goal is to build an app that is able to take the information from the customers without having to call the office. And then from the office, we can decide whether they want to accept that booking or not. So a pet boarding facility is a business enterprise where pet owners can bring their pets, and if they, for example, they want to travel, maybe they'll be away for 1 week, 2 weeks, and then they need somewhere or somebody to care for their pet while they are away. So a pet boarding facility, that's what part of their business solution. And then they also provide veterinary care for the pet. So a well-built app would allow customers to submit their booking requests at their convenience, reducing wait times and improving customer satisfaction. Satisfied customers are likely to share their positive experiences, leading to increased business for pet care solution. So here we see the problem statement and then what building a power app a Canvas app can do to help the business. So what are the steps to take to build our app? Number one, we have to create a SharePoint list and an Excel table, because what we are trying to do is how to build an app from a SharePoint and an Excel. So but personally, I prefer using the SharePoint lists because of the dynamic nature of the SharePoint, and then the what I've explained earlier about the limitations of using Excel. Then we are going to integrate the Excel table and the SharePoint list into our Power Apps. And then we're going to create different screens for the app. And then thereafter, we are going to customize and then design user-friendly interfaces for our app. So that is what we are going to be doing now. So let's go on to our Power App Studio. So here we are. But now we want to configure our SharePoint lists. So go to SharePoint. So in creating the SharePoint list, you have different sites. So these are different sites that I've created that I'm working on previously. So I'm just going to go on to my practice site. This is where I'm going to be creating the SharePoint list on. So now that I'm on the site, this is the site. Then to create the list, sorry, I mistakenly pressed something. Okay, let me go back to. So to create a new SharePoint list, I'll come to this new. So you come to new, click on the drop down, and then we'll click on list. Click on list. So let me confirm, do we have anybody that is following me the way I'm doing it, so I know if I'm going too fast or I'm going at the right speed? So can I get a feedback? Hello?
Let's indicate if there's anyone joining practically on the laptop. So otherwise, it can go at his own speed. Okay, someone has indicated, or someone wants to speak. Ibrahim, okay, your hand is up. That's fine. All right.
Okay, so if you have somebody going that is following me, then it's good that I know that, and then so that we can both be on the same page, and then we can achieve the same result at the end of the day. So I'm going to be creating my list from blank. So I'll go to blank list. So here I'm going to give my list a name. So like I said, we are looking at a pet booking. So pet booking, that's what we want to use. Now you can decide to give a description to your list and then write it there. And once you are done with that, we go on to create. So now our list has been created, but we now have to add the columns to the list. So I'm going to be adding the different columns. Now, I could have done this before the session, but from my own experience, one of the things I noticed is that sometimes when you create a column ahead of time and then people want to replicate it, they have problems knowing what the column is about, and then it might not give them the same results. That's why I've chosen to say, okay, I'm going to do all of that in the class and take us step by step. So this title column is a default column. There's nothing you can do about that. Just leave it the way it is. Then you now go on to create new column. So now, depending on the data type that you want to add to the column, so it could be a text. It could be that you want to create choices for people to pick from, date and time, multiple lines of text. You want information about the person. It could be a number, it could be a yes or no. Maybe you want to add hyperlink, currency, location, image. So different column types. These are column types, actually. Different column types that you can add to your SharePoint list. So first one, you are creating a text, and then you click on next. So here you give the name of the column. So my first column is going to be the pet name, and then it's going to be a single line of text. So I'm going to save. That's created. I go on to the next column, which is still a text. Now I'm talking about the pet type in terms of, is it dog, is it cat, what type of pet are you bringing in? And then a single line of text, and then you have it there. Next one, still a text. What's the breed of the pets? Moving on. Again, let's still do a text, a single line of text. What's the gender, the pet? Followed by the weight of the pet. So we are doing weights in kilogram. So I use a number type, and this number, save. Next, still a text. Does the pet has any allergies? We want to know that so that it helps us to care for the pet while it is under our care. Next, now the owner's name. Who is the person that is booking to bring their pet to our space? And on to the owner's email address. And followed by this is a test. This is a test. We want to get the owner's phone number. One thing you will notice is that with all of these things we are doing, we are gathering data. We are gathering data from our users. We are knowing the type of pets they are bringing and then information about the owner. And now we want to look at the date. When do you want to bring the pet into the boarding facility? So the next will be, so the data type is going to be date and time. And so this is going to be start date. Save that. So from after the start date, when is the end date? For how long will the pet be in our facility? So you have to state the start date and then the end date. Okay, and then the last but not the least, want to know information, any other information about the pets. So we are using a multiple line of text. So here you say notes for them to be free to describe whatever it is they want us to know about the pet so as to help us to care for the pet adequately. So we have created our SharePoint list. From here now, we can decide to actually start adding data into this. So if we're going to start adding data, for example, let's say you want to create a SharePoint list with that is already pre-populated with data. So after you have created all the columns, you just come here to new, and then you start adding values to the different columns as you want it to be. We are not doing that for this for this app that I want to build. What we want to just create is create the columns. Now then when we are ready, we'll now use this to build our app. So now that we have configured our SharePoint list, let's go back to our Power Apps. So I want to show us what we are trying to work at so that we can have an idea of what exactly we want to achieve in this session. So I'm going to go to apps and then just show us how the app we want to build, how it's supposed to look like, to give us an idea of what exactly we're trying to achieve. So using the Power Apps, it relies strongly on your internet because everything is cloud-based. So how fast the internet is sometimes can affect how smooth you're able to transit from one place to another. But yes, all of these things are right. So this is what our app is supposed to look like. So this is a login screen. This is where you start from. Then when you log in, you come here. Now having the login screen is an option. It's not compulsory. You can add it, you might not add it. Because having a login screen means that you have to have a database for all your prospective users. So there are people that are already registered with you. So when they log in, that's right to the database where the data are stored. So this is the home page. And then from here, you get to the booking screen where they input all the information that we are requesting for, and then get onto the success screen. So once the person comes in, get to this page, it books, and then after the information is submitted, it comes here and say your appointment has been scheduled. And then after that, it can log out, and then that'll be the. So from the comfort of their homes, the clients, the customers can actually make the booking. And then once they make the booking, we can read whatever booking is done on the SharePoint list. And then because we also have the app with us, we can also view and see who has make a booking and what have you. So this is what we are trying to work at in this session. So we're going back now to now start from the scratch. Are we following?
Yes,
Okay,
we
so
are.
thank you very much. So you're going back to
Yes.
create, then you go to blank app, then you go to create. So again, the name of the app, that's booking app. So the format is phone. I want to be able to use it on mobile. And click create. So you might not be able to finish everything today, but definitely we are going to go a long way today, and then we'll see where we can end up today. So this is our first screen. This is the first screen we have done. So we have been able to build to come here. So the next thing we need to do is we need to create the other screens for the app. So remember, we have the login screen, which is optional. We might add that, might not add that, but the ones that are critical for us that we want to look at is the home screen, the booking screen, and then the success screen. So just something with three screens. So the customer just have to navigate through three screens, and then they are done with whatever they have to do. You know, going from screen to screen can be laborious, and then it can make the whole process even cumbersome. So we want to limit it to just three screens. So this is the first screen. So to create new screens, we'll come here to the ribbon command, click on this. So the screen we want to create now is a screen that can take form, that can take information. So we are going to be clicking the form screen. So like we said, the Power Apps is just drag and drop, very intuitive, and then it's a low code, little or no code platform. So we have the screen that's going to serve as our form screen, with which we are going to write into our database. Then the next screen we want to create is the success screen. So this is where, after filling the form, this is where the customer will navigate to, and then from there it can then log out, and then that they are done with their booking process. So we have created our three screens. Now, if you look here, this is the side pane, like I described the other time. So you have here the tree view, which is what shows you all the icons, the details of your app. So this is screen one now. If you I'm sure it will open up because nothing's on it yet. That's why it's not. I don't have all of this. So for screen two, we have some icons added to it. So all this. So if I click edit form now, it's here. Now it's asking me to add a data source. We'll do that shortly. We have our label icon. That's the title. We have the accept icon. We have the cancel icon. and then you have the action bar. You notice that as soon as we click on the screen, PowerApp automatically created all of these things and added all of these things for us. Now, the third screen is our success screen, which only has our success message, which can be edited. We can customize it to what we want it to be. They have the check icon, and then we have the icon cycle, or circle rather. So the tree view gives you the overall of what your app is looking like. Then if you want to add anything, you have insert. The same insert that you have here is what you also have here. Then here you have data. This is where you connect your app to your data source. You're going to be doing that very shortly. Then here you add media. If you want to add video, pictures, whatever, this is where you do that. Now, if you want to automate a process, you have to create a flow. So you want to create a flow, this is where you do that. If you want to write variables, you want to define variables in your app. Now, the app development goes from simple to complex. So as you develop competence, you can then begin to add all of these things to your app development. So we are starting from here now. So let's go back to our home screen. So on our home screen, the first thing we need to do, we want to add a button. We want to add a button that our customers are going to get started with. So we have our button. Then we want to add our text label. So go to Insert, add a text label, which you are going to use to write the name. You're going to have a text label. Okay, then you still have to add another text label. I don't think could be having two text labels. I'm going to say that shortly. The text label. Then we need more text labels. Okay, so let me just start the building process immediately. Okay, so our first text label is here. So this is where I'm going to be writing the name of the organization. So here we'll come to the property plane, or the property pane rather. Then here we have text. You can correct it from here. You can change what is here, or you can change it from the formula bar. But I prefer to use it to do it from here. So we are talking about pets care solution. That's the name of the organization. Want to increase the font size to 30. I want to make it bold. And then we want the alignment to be to the center. And I want the color to be, the font color now, to be blue. So we are still going to be configuring this a little bit more. So pet care solution. Then now I want to add this. I want to change this. Be careful your pets. So yeah, changing this one to 20. Aligning it towards the right. And also change the font color to blue. Okay, so you can align it. Now this is going to also change this. You can say make your okay. Then I'm going to make this image. Okay, font size. Let's say 25. Let's also make it bold. And then font color also. Okay, then alignment is center. We've done this. Now our button. This is the one you are going to use to move on. So this button now we can also change what is on this button. So we'll go to the property page again, and then on the text, we cancel what is there, and then we say get started. Okay. So let's leave that for now. So now we can start the customization gradually. So we want our screen not just to be white, So we want to give it a feel. So come to the property plane still. If you want to add a background image as part of your app, you can actually do that by coming here, and then you upload an image that you want to be part of the app or on the screen, depending on what you want. But I'm not doing that for this. What I just want to do is to give it a good feel. So I'm going to be choosing this to give it a powdery feel. Okay, now we need to add our image to the screen. So we come to media, then I'm going to be adding media, upload. So I click on upload, and then it takes me to the image I want to add. So this is the image I want to add to the app. Okay, so the image has been uploaded. So from here now, I can drag the image to my app. Okay. So we're getting there gradually. And I want to add one more thing, like a logo for this organization. So I'll come back to media, add media, and add the image. This time around, I want to pick this. So that has been uploaded, and then I'll bring it into my app. So this now, I'll have to reduce this. Okay, let's do this one. So this is more like a logo for the organization. So pet care solution, we care for your pet. So this is the home screen. Now, this is the home screen for the app. This is the button. So usually when you are building like that, it's good that you save. So this is where I'm going to save. So we'll save our app here. This floppy disk sign. Save it. Good. So our app has been saved. This file are going. So one more thing we are going to do before we wrap up for today. We're going to connect our app to the data source. We're going to connect our app to the data source. So come back to the tree view. Okay, so now we are going to go to, this is where we want to add our data source. This is where we want to add our data source to. So you could see here it said connect to data. So you could click, you come from here, you can click from here and connect to data, or you can go from here. So you say add data. So you select the data source. Our data source is SharePoint. I'm going through this step so that for anybody that is just going through the process can understand how it is done. So SharePoint. So this is the SharePoint that I already have on the system. So I click on this. Now, if you come back to the right side now, it says connect to the SharePoint site. So you notice that when we are creating the SharePoint, there are different sites that has been created already. But the our list was created into this one, Oluwatomisin practice site. So you click on that particular site where you have created your list. So once you have clicked on that site, now these are the lists that are available on that site. So we are using the pet booking. That's the one we have created for this purpose. So you click on this and then you go to connect. So now our data source has been uploaded. Now we can connect. So now that we have connected that, what we just do is come to this the property pane. If you look at this part, you see data source is saying none. So you come here and then click on, because we have imported, we have connected it to that data source here. That is why it is showing here. So just click on this and then voila. All the columns that we have created in the SharePoint list is deployed as a form. Can we see? Okay, so now you notice something that we have about 13, what do you call it now? Columns, but you have not uploaded everything. So to get everything on, you come to this place, feed. Under feed, you click on this. So these ones have been added, but to add the other feeds, you now come to add feed. So now you now come and look at the other things that we wanted. So part of what we added was end dates, the owner email, the owner phone number, the start date. These are the other columns that are supposed to be part of the form. Attachment. These other columns was created by the SharePoint and PowerApp themselves. We are not using them, only using the ones that we are interested in. So we look through. So end date. Notes, yes. Note. Owner email, owner phone number, start date, and then you click add. Now we can rearrange how we want this each of these columns to appear on the form. So what we want is the pet name, the pet type, the breed, the gender, the weight of the pet, the allergies, then the owner name, then owner email should be after owner name. Okay, so we have owner name, owner email, then owner phone number. Owner phone number, then the start date, the end date, and the note. So this is how we want our form to look like when they are filling it. This is the order. So once you have done that, you can come to close. So now we have our form ready to be used. Okay, so let's come back to our tree view. So our form is ready, and then the success screen is ready. So this is how far we have come today. I'm just going to, okay, so let me do one more thing before we wrap up for today. We're almost done it, designing the app itself. So this gets started. What we want to happen is when a customer clicks on get started, it should go from here to the form screen where it's going to be able to input all the information that we're asking for. So what we're going to do is we're going to write a logic to connect this button to the second screen. So what to do that, you come to the left side here, where my cursor is, you ensure that the control is saying on select. So on select, now it is saying false. So what it means is that if you click this, nothing will happen. But now we want it that when this is clicked, it should navigate to screen 2, which is the booking screen. So here we'll come to the formula bar, and then we change what is here, and then we'll write navigate. So they're saying navigate. So to where now? Where is it supposed to navigate to? So they're saying navigate to screen 2. And then we want the transition. We want it that it transits seamlessly to screen 2. So we say transcription is none, and then we close the bracket. So once we do that, then our get started link is ready to be used. Now we can come back here to save the app again and what we have done so far. Okay, very quickly, last part for tonight. We want to play. We want to see how the app will behave when we want to use it. So you come to this play button, say preview the app. So you either click here or you press F5. So preview the app now. So this is how the app will look like. So when a person gets on this place, this is what they are going to see. And then they can then get started. When they click on get started, wow, Okay, so something that we are supposed to have done here. So let's go back to our property pane. So let me click on my edit form again. So you come here to this default mode. Instead of edit, you click new. So you change the default mode to new. Change default mode to new. And once we do that, let's save again. And then come back to this page and then let's play again. So get started. Okay, so title, you can leave that blank. So let's say pet name is Kyle. Pet is a dog. German Shepherd. Gender male. Weight 45. Allergies none. Owner name Mr. Stone. Owner email Stone at gmail.com. So now the owner is inputting his details 4567890. So when are you coming? So let's say you're booking against Monday. Okay. For how long? From Monday till Friday. So 20th to 24. Okay. Note, what do you want us to know? Carl enjoys home. So once you have done that, then you come to the submit button. We should have configured this part, but we'll come to do this later. So once you click submit, we have not finished our configuration and customization. So ordinarily what you're supposed to do after submitting, you're supposed to go to the next screen, which is the success screen. We have not done those configuration, but I'm sure you have seen how the flow is going on. And then so we're wrapping up here tonight. When we come back next week, we'll pick up from there, continue with the configurations, and then we'll be doing the customization. Thank you very much for having me. If there's any questions, I will entertain 1 or 2 questions, and then we'll call it a wrap. Thank you, everyone. Okay, I can stop sharing. All right. If you have questions, you can unmute yourself and ask your questions. Yes, today you're raising up your hand. You can ask your question.
Yeah, thank you for the insightful session. Please, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, really appreciate the session. Is interesting. I just want to find out if is it possible to make our form, I mean, the feat we have on the form a compulsory. Like, if you are filling a form on, let's say, SharePoint form, there is a place you can click on to make a particular field a compulsory, and some is not that compulsory. Is there a way we can just perform that on the app?
Yes, very well. While you are configuring your SharePoint list, we could have indicated that we want it compulsory. So we can do that very well. Make it compulsory, make some part compulsory, make some optional. very well we can do that.
Please help us note it. So next week you should just
Yes,
navigate.
I will note it, and you could also note it also and remind me should in case I forget.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hi.
Over to you, moderator.
What? I have a question, please.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, the Microsoft developer site, is it free? The account, the developer's account, is it free or paid? Do they have free version of it?
Yes, it's free.
Okay.
It's free.
Okay, like
Just
you said to get information, to get access to some of all the what's it called? Or to get access to using all the functions, we have to pay, right? That's for the premium users.
But for the part of it that are premium. So if you're going to want to use the premium features, then you have to pay.
Okay.
But even without the
Okay,
premium
but
features, you can still build and deploy apps that you can use.
okay. All right, thank you.
Yes, Kadili, you're raising up your hand. Please go
Yeah,
ahead.
Kadri, are you done? Go ahead.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
we
we
can hear
can,
you.
please.
Okay, can you share a link where we can actually have this Microsoft 365?
Okay, let me do that.
A verified link so we don't get into the wrong link, please. Thank you.
Okay, let me. So I've dropped it on the chat now.
Yes. So then you can also help us drop your LinkedIn profile.
My LinkedIn is Oluwatomisin Olatoye.
Okay, then you will see his picture, old picture anyway. So definitely.
This okay. Let me drop the.
Please share the link so that you can just click on
link.
it and go directly from there. Then the developer account has been shared. Please do make use of it. But I observed that recent, a couple of about a month ago, some people have challenges having to register with this account, but I don't know if it has been resolved now. So we can keep trying. You might try and it's not going, keep trying, because some have reached out to me to log that complaint. So at this point, I sincerely want to appreciate my brother here for this first part of this session. And please, we look forward to every one of us on this call. Invite your friends and loved ones for the concluding parts by this time next week as well. And I believe that by then we are going to do a justice to the conclusion of this session. So for those of us who are not with our laptop, please, between now and then, you have at least 7 days, okay, let me say 6 days, to put your own app up to this stage so that while it's doing the concluding part next week, you can do well to follow up and complete it. Then you can share. That's a knowledge added for you. And share that on LinkedIn and all of that. Thank you for being with us today. Thank you for sacrificing your 2 hours to come and learn. And we appreciate everyone for this time. All right, see you next week by God's grace. And we hope and believe that we have not wasted your time to be here. God bless you, everyone. Bye for now.
Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Yeah.
Bye.
All right. Thank you. Bye for now. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye.